Studio check.
Frequencies check.
We are live on air.
You are listening to the In Fact Blessing the Airwaves. Take the journey into the world of sports, news, entertainment, while embracing the hottest beats on the planet. Rocking the mind, body, and soul. Energy, electricity, and a splash of controversy. Now, without further ado, it's our pleasure to bring to you
The biggest show in the world.
Biggest show in the world.
the biggest show in the world, the SBTV Nation.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you. Happy Sunday. It's the 26th of March. We are getting ready for the weather to break. We are getting ready for the spring. We are getting ready for Major League Baseball. And I got my man, Dr. Dan, the evil genius, on the other line. What's up, my man?
What's going on, kid? What a crazy night of hoop last night, but you're right about that. This weather's supposed to break. I saw Tuesday it might get up to like 65 degrees out here.
Well, that would be incredible considering the fact that I can't get any landscaping done on any of my properties right now because of the weather's been so crap.
Oh, dude, my house looks like garbage. I need some serious stuff stat. And it's like, if it hasn't been like freezing out, it's like basically raining or doing something else. So I am with you there, but it is almost, the dawn is upon us, sir.
It is, sir. It is. And you know what? Speaking of things that look like crap last night and really had me not feeling so well was the Kansas Jayhawks last night. And Bill Self, they go down in flames to the Oregon Ducks. The Oregon Ducks shot their lights out, brother.
Oh, yeah. And in both games, that's what you saw last night, right? I mean, just an insurmountable shooting effort. And, I mean, Oregon, that's where they've killed teams all year. Yeah. And if they shoot like that, I don't know who's stopping them. I'm not sure if right now Oregon doesn't have the clean path to a championship.
Well, considering the fact that last night I had to go out and sit around all my bride's friends. They weren't even my bride's friends. They were friends of her best friend.
I felt for you. I really felt for you when I was sitting on the couch,
dude,
like
the
half
pain.
drunk, like, watching these games in my own peacefulness. I was like, I feel bad for Hat.
Oh, so I'm sitting there and I'm watching Kansas just can't do anything. And I actually they had the bright idea to go to a bar without a TV. So that was even worse. So
dear.
now I'm going around and I have to try to make small talk with people. And I'm just sitting there talking to my wife. She's like, go mingle. I'm like, looking at her like, oh my God, probably the death stare. I'm like, you really serious with this right now? So, yeah, just, talking to people about, how's things? Oh, good, working. Oh, dude. Brutalized. My bride owes me huge. She owes me huge for that. And I'm sure you've all been in that situation with your significant other at times. And, hey, it is what it is. And I did not smoke a cannon before that, so it was even worse.
Oh.
I know.
Oh.
Well,
see, if I'm getting forced into that situation, not only am I going a little tweaked out, but I'm not driving. I'm drinking on the way there. I'm like, all right, and we get to a place with a bar without a TV, dude.
Oh, dude,
I'm walking out of there.
Absolute brutality.
I mean, look, it's one thing if it's like, you got a wedding, a funeral, a bar mitzvah, something, that like whatever. But dude, you're talking to a man that scheduled his wedding for the Giants bye week, okay? I got respect. Okay?
Sure thing, man. So, good morning to everybody. We are the SBTV Nation. We are going to go through college basketball real quick. We're going to touch on the NBA, and then we're going to dive right into 2017, the preview, the breakdown, all the win totals, all the divisions with Dr. Dan, the evil genius. I'm excited for it, man.
Oh, dude, this is, like we said, the fourth year already. It's crazy. I feel really good about everything that I looked at so far this year. I mean, I think we got a great show for people coming in today. So
absolutely,
definitely excited. But real quick, man, I got to ask you.
Yes.
What was up with
Cleveland Cavaliers go down to the Wizards.
Yeah, and your boy played.
Yeah, I don't know.
24 points. 24 points, almost 50% shooting, but he missed all his threes. He had 8 assists in 41 minutes. That's not good because if you look at those numbers, you tell me he's going to do much better than that in a playoff series?
Yeah.
That's 24, 11, and 8.
They will be just fine.
I don't know, dude.
I love that this happens, Dan. I love because I have been making so much money with the Cavs because what's happening is that they're losing and people are getting on their case and then they come out and they win and it's perfect because they don't.
But they're losing with LeBron playing awesome.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't even matter. They'll be just fine. Listen, you got to understand something. When you're bringing in new players. Like even when Kevin Durant, just joined the Golden State Warriors, didn't they lose their first game? I believe they lost their first game. Listen, it's going to be just fine. But Vegas Girl's on here. I tried with my bride. Thank you very much. But my bride knows that she owes me big time for going through that. Yesterday. So let's just talk real quick, Dan. Let's go through so Gonzaga murders Xavier.
Yep, my bad.
Yeah, but you know what? Hey, listen, I can't. That was a lot of points.
Also, I felt that Xavier really, 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 really screwed up because here's the thing: they were calling those ticky-tack like touch fouls on Karnowski early and often.
Yep.
He had 2 fouls real quick, and then he got his third, and it took forever to get his fourth. And if they had gotten him out of the game, and they could have probably guarded the perimeter. That was, it was a terrible effort. Whatever, it is what it is. That's what happens when you play dogs. Right but hey, as we said, Oregon made up for it. So
well, definitely. You money lined to both, so you are in the plus money big time, especially with the Oregon Ducks, who were substantially an underdog in this game, and they come out and they mopped the floor with Kansas. They were up 11 in the first half, and they actually won the second half too. Now,
yes,
when you look at here's what I think happened, because I actually did watch most of the first half. I believe when Jackson got the 2 fouls right out the gate and had to sit, I believe that threw them completely off.
Yeah, I get that, but this is a team in Kansas that's supposed to have a ton of shooters. I get that throws you off a bit.
Yeah.
I just felt like it was Oregon absolutely Drano, and you had Frank Mason. He put up some horrid shots. You had some other really bad shots that went up. You had layups being clanged. That's the stuff like that kills you. It reminded me a lot of the UNC Butler game the other day, where it's like, yeah, Kansas got within 6 at one point, but you kind of knew. Like, I think they were at one point shooting like 32% from the field in that game.
Yeah.
That was bad.
And it wasn't even like they were contested shots. They had a lot of wide open looks and just couldn't
drain.
Oh,
my God, just clanging, just not, just not able to hit their shots. I don't know about you, man, but, if you looking at the way that, everything matches up, who you still got a favorite?
Oh, man, I got to go Gonzaga.
Your boys are gone.
I got to go Gonzaga now. They were my second choice.
Not North Carolina?
No, I'm not a fan of North Carolina. I don't see it with them. You know what? The one thing I can give to them is that in the clutch, they play spectacular defense. I can say that much. And that's the only reason why they got past Arkansas. Because they were down 5 with what was it, 2 minutes left or something like that? And they just completely, if you're a team that's running, you need to continue to run. Don't let that defense get set because you're not going to get near the hoop and you're not going to make a basket. And that's the only...
And I also think we also, and I will definitely call myself guilty of this, I just underestimated the SEC as a whole. I take a lot more heat off that Arkansas win than that Butler win. And if you asked me before looking at those 2 games, which would be more important to show North Carolina's true nature? And you're right. But I think being tested, if you want to get right into it, there's no more wrap up.
Yeah, right, exactly. So let's get into today what we got going on today, because we have 2 games on the ticket on this Sunday afternoon, and it seems like they have spaced the games out properly, which is nice.
It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon.
Yeah,
it's
a great
early dinner in.
Yep, exactly. So when you pull it up here and you're looking at the lines, you've got the SEC matchup. You got South Carolina versus number 4 Florida. Florida is minus 3.5. They are favored in this matchup. They've done spectacular without their center. They lost their center for the whole year here. They have seemed to put it all together with the new coaching staff, and they're 27-8, under over of 134.5. This kid Thornwell for South Carolina is spectacular. He's really, really good. I don't know if you've got a chance to really catch a lot of his gameplay, but the kid's good. What's your thoughts here, Dan?
So they split the season series, home and away.
Yep.
I have a preference right now. I mean, I've been watching this South Carolina team for a bit. The way that they've been playing, and remember, they haven't lost in forever. I mean, they had a loss against Seton Hall like 10 games ago, something like that. I mean, this is a team that killed Syracuse. Blew the doors off a Michigan team that everybody liked, right? They won all the games that they were supposed to win, and then some, right? Knocking off Marquette and Duke and Baylor, not even close. You got to go with the hot hand right now, and I think South Carolina is much more impressive than Florida is right now. I'm going to take them. I'm going to buy it up a half point to +4. But I'm also going to throw a money line on them at like +150.
Sure, I get it. Well, looking at it here, I honestly, I think Florida is just a facade. I got to be honest with you. I'm not that impressed with them. I haven't been. And quite frankly, if Wisconsin just played a little bit of defense, they're not here right now in that last 4 seconds of the game.
Oh, dude, yeah.
I mean, they were just so deathly afraid of fouling. That was the problem.
But also, the way that, even though they obviously won the game, I mean, Florida collapsed at the end of that game. They were up 8 with, 90 seconds left. And I mean, look, I had them beating Wisconsin. I thought that they would kind of roll.
Yep.
And blowing a game like that, look, South Carolina has been decimating people. Yeah. And I understand that these teams know each other, but I think the thing is Florida is playing how Florida's played all year, and South Carolina's hit it into overdrive in that extra gear. I think the smart money's on South Carolina. Like I said, I'm still buying the hook up because I think it's a smart thing to do. I just don't see this game going outside of 3 or 4 points, like at the max. One way or the other. I think it's going to come down to the end. It's going to be a hard-fought game, but I think South Carolina pulls away and wins at the end.
Okay, guys. I know it was a little bit of a – what's the word I'm looking for here? I know it was right on the number with the Florida and Wisconsin game, but just want to throw a quick stat at you for the month of March in the NBA. When you're a favorite team, minus 5 points or less. Okay, minus 5 points or less. When you win the game, 95% of the time they cover the spread, Dan. So all them money lines that you're doing, those minus 230s, 220s, 190s, 160s, 140s. Yep. If you're laying the number, 95% of the time you're covering 5 points or less. It's a pretty big number.
I mean, you know me, I'm a numbers player. I don't really, I'll put together the occasional money line pars, and MLB is different. We'll get there.
Sure.
But with hoop and football, I lay the numbers. But I'm with you, man. That I think if you're going to play it, just play it.
When you start getting to 6, 7, 8, 9, then it becomes a different package. Then when you get to double-digit underdogs like the Knickerbockers last night, you're just fine. Plus 15.5 and lose the game by 8. Perfect. All right, Dan. So you got that game. I don't have an opinion. I don't like the game. I don't like either one of these games. I got to be honest with you.
You're
not
just
feeling
salty
it.
because you should have been riding South Carolina.
I'm super salty because you know what? I had them written down on a paper, and I ended up selecting Marquette instead of them. Oh, pain, man. Pain when it was supposed to be both of them. Moving on to the next game here, you got Kentucky versus North Carolina. North Carolina #1, Kentucky #2. Kentucky has 32 wins on the year with 5 losses. UNC -2.5, under over 159.5. You know what? The 167 the other night was apropos. Here, I don't like this total that much. Where you at here?
North Carolina.
North Carolina. You really think that they're going to roll?
Blue blood battle, baby.
Okay.
And, I think despite Roy Williams, who I think Kentucky is better coached, but I just think this year North Carolina is the superior team. I just think they will out-athletic Kentucky. They'll shoot better, and they'll play better down the stretch. I think that North Carolina wins this game. Again, buying the hook. I'll get it down to -2. And I'll just roll with it.
Well, you do have the curse of the conference champion here. Kentucky did win the SEC, and they have won 14 consecutive games. The conference champions have not fared so well in the last, I think only like 2 of them in the last 10 years have actually won the NCAA tournament. So, oh, man, what an ugly game. I hate both of these teams, to be honest with you. But I think I'm with you. I think North Carolina wins. I'm not playing the game. As far as the totals are concerned, I can tell you this much, that Kentucky, the total's going under 9 of the last 10 games. And Kentucky has been slowing the pace down. But you know what? They obviously adjusted the total based on that and brought it down. Basically, it was 167 the other night with UCLA. They brought it down to 159.5. So that makes it a little bit scary for me. If it was over like 163, I might consider going under, but I'm not doing it today.
I hear you, brother. I hear you. I feel pretty good about it, though.
You do?
I do.
All right, so just UNC real quick. UNC, guys, they're putting up 85.24 points per game, where Kentucky's about 85.19. So, I mean, that's only a couple points less than UCLA, yet the total dropped 8.5 points. So the bookmakers are getting pretty smart on what we've been doing because our totals have been stellar, kid. I think I only lost one total so far. That was the Notre Dame versus West Virginia total where I had the under and it actually went over. So,
yep, and Notre Dame wouldn't quit. I remember that.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that's pretty much it for that. Let me just pull up the NBA to see if I have anything up my sleeve and you have anything up your sleeve prior to going into Major League Baseball. Just pull it up. Just give me 1 second, boys and girls. There's a
full card today.
Yeah, guys, I already got a spot. I got a perfect money line spot. I'm all over it. Bazemore and I forgot who else has been injured for the Atlanta Hawks. Paul Millsap and Bazemore have both been injured. However, we're going to take a look at it, see if any of them are returning to the lineup. But regardless if they do or don't, we have the Atlanta Hawks who have lost 6 consecutive games, only giving 6.5 to the Brooklyn Nets. And I believe the Atlanta Hawks win this game. I'm going to take them. Since it's over 5 points, I'm going to put them in a money line situation. I am taking the Atlanta Hawks to win the game today at 1 o'clock. Trying to get that early money, Dan.
Best of luck to you.
6 games in a row. You got to come out and win. You got to beat the booty Brooklyn Nets. You can't lose this game.
So.
You can't lose this game. Not at all.
No, but I'm not even, yeah.
All right. So we're going to scroll down here and look. Obviously, we got a couple of double-digit underdogs here. You got Phoenix Suns, who are 22-51 on the year, 9-28 on the road, but Charlotte is giving them 12. Obviously, guys, you know I've been doing awesome with double-digit dogs. It's been lights out completely. So I'm going to continue my little system here. I'm going to take all the double-digit underdogs in the NBA, and there's 3 of them. You got Phoenix, Sacramento versus the Clippers, And there's one more, which is the Memphis Grizzlies at Golden State, getting 10.5 tonight. Part 2 of my Moneyline Parlay in the NBA is going to consist of the Boston Celtics. They're hosting the Miami Heat. Boston has been lights out, especially at home, 26-9. They've won 3 straight. They're only giving 5 to the Miami Heat, and I'm taking the Boston Celtics. So I'm going to put the Atlanta Hawks, Boston Celtics, Moneyline Parlay should pay even money, Dan.
Right on.
All right. So that's going to do it for that, guys. Unless you got anything up your sleeve regarding the NBA.
No. I just always get a kick at looking at like the nightly Denver Nuggets, 225 to 240 crazy over-under line.
Right on. I know. It's kind of crazy, right?
It's insane. I mean, if you look at some of these, and I would have to see, and there's actually games that are bigger than that. I mean, the OKC and the Rockets game, that's a number of 232.
232. Wow. Unbelievable.
232, and I'm like, so some of these almost I can't believe them. So they look too good to be true to take the under. So I'm just going to stay away from it.
Right on, guys. All right, it's about that time. It's about that time to get involved with spring. And what comes with spring and summer is Major League Baseball. And we have one of the best in the business on the line right now, my co-host, Dr. Dan.
I need a doctor. Call me a doctor. I need a doctor to bring me back to life.
All right, kid, you ready?
That's up, man.
Oh, man, I got a little loud there, but it's all good because we got to come out with a bang. Anyway.
Wake up.
Wake up, guys. All right, so Dr. Dan, so here's what we're going to do, guys. We are going to go through each and every team as far as the MLB is concerned, all the divisions. We're going to start with the American League. We're going to go all the way down to the National League and close out with the National League East. So, Dan, it's about that time. So why don't we do it, and let's start right out with the American League East.
Let's do it.
All
and
right.
I just want to say, guys, I'm also always open. Any questions and anything, feel free to tweet me at Dr. Dan Evil Genius, DM me, whatever you want. I'm more than happy to get to you, and I will do my best to get to everybody.
All right, sounds good, Dan. So let's start right out with it. Let's start right out with my boy, Chris Sale, and the Boston Red Sox. Great acquisition for them this year. And they are here as far as the American League East. A lot of people have this team advancing and making some noise in the playoffs. Where are you at?
Oh, man, they are so good.
They are so good. Okay.
So we have a number. And, guys, I just want to preface this. This is the number that I pulled off my book of choice, I think 24 hours ago. So always look out for injuries. I tend to put my things in finalized like the day before. So, you just want to look out. But here's the thing. What we're looking at with the Red Sox, obviously an amazing offseason for them. I mean, Sale just adds such a dimension to that rotation, especially now with Price going down. And to be honest, I don't know if that's such a bad thing.
Yeah, right.
If he comes back healthy, because right now he has elbow soreness, shut down 7 to 10 days, nothing seems structural. We know he doesn't pitch good in cold weather anyway. And if you look at the Red Sox, they have plenty of guys back there. I mean, this rotation, top to bottom, is ridiculous.
Oh,
right now you have, Sale, but he's not even technically, he's not their number one going in. They're giving that to Porcello.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
Dude, the rotation's ridiculous.
Oh, my God. And then it comes, and I know, look, losing Big Papi, how did they react? But I think they still have a number of, guys that can step up. Bogarts is going to step up. Pedroia is going to step up. I love Mitch Moreland at first base. He's got a bunch of pop. Hanley Ramirez at the DH. This team, look, I have them over 93 wins. Okay. I think their only possible weak spot is, Kung Fu Panda at third base. But he's looked good in spring training. He's lost some weight and all that. I think the Red Sox win 95-plus games.
All right. And you got to, the bullpen's not so bad either with Kimbrel.
Oh, dude, that's what definitely one of the best closers in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little concerned about middle relief. but the rotation is so good. And the thing is, if the Red Sox are smart, if they go out and they see that in the 6th or 7th inning they're getting killed, they'll trade for somebody. They have a great farm system. They also have guys in the rotation that might flip to the bullpen, when Price comes back. So, the only other possible weak spot that you don't really know about is the catcher position. But man, this team is really good.
8-1 shot to win the World Series, Dan.
I think so. We talk a lot about futures. We're both big futures players, obviously, and I think a lot of people that listen to us are. 8-1 might be the best you're going to do this year.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, it might be, because here's the thing: if the Red Sox get out, let's say they start the season like 12-2, that's going to drop immediately.
Yeah,
so if you're a believer in the Red Sox like I am, and you're a future player, 8-1 sounds like a good place to start.
Okay, where are you at next as far as the American League East?
So let's hop right over to the nemesis team. Why not? We'll go with the New York Yankees.
Yes.
So the New York Yankees, kind of a conundrum right now, because they just lost Didi Gregorius with a right shoulder injury, which anybody who knows, his defense is phenomenal, and that's really not a good injury. I actually like the Yankees a little bit going into this year. The number is now, it was 83.5. It's now down to 83. That injury cost a half game. I actually have the Yankees going just over. I don't think they're going to be great, but I think 84 to 86 wins. The rotation is suspect. It could really go either way. So, look, I might not even play this over. I think 84 to 86 wins, but it's so old. It's so fragile in the rotation. And then they have a bunch of young guys that should do well, but you just never know how they're going to come back after a year like last year. But my best guess is 84 to 86 wins for the Yanks. I think the lineup will be able to do enough to get them some wins.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, I look at this rotation here. Tanaka, Pineda, Sabathia, Severino. I think they needed another piece.
Oh, definitely.
And they've been so. I mean, each one of these guys is bipolar.
Is one of the best in baseball, though.
What's that?
The bullpen's one of the best in baseball, though, too.
Aroldis Chapman and Betances, yeah.
Well, even Clippard, because the thing is, let's say Sabathia, he's going to give you 5.
Yep.
And I mean, he's not looked good, but if he can get you through 5, and you know that, you can have Lane. Lane hasn't been bad, and then you have Clippard, and then you set up Betances and Chapman.
Yep.
Tanaka's got to be able. The thing is you never know about Tanaka, how many innings he's going to be able to give you. And then Pineda as well. He's like one of those guys that every now and again he's just going to get shelled, and you're going to be out of the game. And Severino, is he good or isn't he?
Yeah.
Nobody really knows. So I'm looking at this, and it's kind of backwards. I think the bullpen is really what has to carry them. I mean, they have arguably the best setup and closer combination in the game.
Right on. And you know what, too? I mean, they're a 30-1 shot right now to win the World Series. I say save your money, personally.
Yeah, and I think because they're going to go on a losing streak. But the thing is their lineup has a chance to be special.
Okay. Where you at next, brother?
Yeah, we can go, let's stay in the division, and let us go with the Baltimore Orioles.
Baltimore Orioles. Okay. Just seems like this team was Jekyll and Hyde last year. They did their thing at home and then got on the road and brutalized teams.
So here's the thing. We have, Tillman's not expected to be ready by opening day, so we got to look at that. That's obviously their number one guy.
Yep.
But here's the thing. I think this is a big year for the Orioles.
Really?
This lineup is unbelievable. And it's only, I think another year, you learn from your mistakes of the last year. I mean, they arguably have one of the best 3, 4, 5s in the American League. The bullpen is really good. I finally think the rotation will actually put it together. I've been looking at what they've been doing, and I think they get better. I mean, 81 games, I think they're over that, to be honest. I have the Orioles 86 to 89 wins.
86 to 89 wins. Does it behoove you to take the American League East to win the World Series at this point?
We'll get into that.
All right.
So let's go with the last team in the... Or actually, sorry, we have 2 more teams in the AL East. We can go right over to Toronto, I guess.
Okay.
So I am not high on the Blue Jays this year.
No.
I think the rotation is pretty good, but not great. I don't love Liriano anymore. Sanchez is like, I don't know what he's going to do. So you're looking at a 4 and 5 that meh. And then J. Happ, look, I understand he's been really good, but he still has the propensity to get shelled. And the Blue Jays have a number of 85.5. I just think that the bullpen is extremely suspect as well. I mean, if you look at who's in that bullpen, you're talking about Grilly and to set up for Osuna. Like, I'm not having it. And the other thing, too, is like a lot of the guys on this team are old guys. I mean, you got Kendrys Morales, Tulowitzki has been hurt in the past. Donaldson was hurt earlier in spring training.
Yep.
Bautista's back, but does he hold up a whole year? He was injured last year.
Mm-hmm.
I have them under 85.5 games. I think, maybe 80 to 83 wins, right around 500.
All right. Yeah, I mean, and you know what? When you look at Bautista, he didn't have a great year last year.
Well, he was injured, so I think for what he did, I mean, he was okay. But, yeah he did not have that stereotypical Bautista year.
Nope.
And again, remember, the AL East is a beast of a division.
Sure is.
So, you got to play those guys a lot, and I think that cost them.
Yeah, right. And you know what? We remember the bullpen last year just imploding like every game.
Oh my God. And I think this, what this reminds me of is the old, like the early 2000s to mid 2000s Detroit Tigers teams.
Yeah, right.
Where it's like they might hit the ball, they might score 4 or 5 runs, but then you get into the 7th or 8th inning and you just shell these guys.
Tampa Bay Rays, Dan.
Okay. I've heard a lot of analysts, these so-called analysts that are high on the Rays. I don't know what they're smoking, kid. I'm not the biggest Archer fan. And then you look at the rest of the rotation, and it hasn't been stellar. Now you're talking mediocrity. And then the lineup, we know that they can't score runs, and I think that they'll start trading pieces. They're number 78. And I really am expecting a fire sale from the Rays towards the trade deadline. And I don't love their bullpen either with Boxberger and Colomé. I think, high side, 73 to 75 wins.
So you're going under.
Under.
All right. And they are right now a 90 to 1 shot to win the World Series, brother.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
All right. Sounds good. Okay, so that does it for the AL East. Let's go over to the AL Central.
Where do you want to start over there, kid?
Well, let's start with the defending AL champions here.
Oh, let's start with them. So the Indians come into this year with an insane number of 93.5.
93.5. Your boy Kluber.
Okay. Yeah. I don't. And here's the thing. This team is coming in banged up. Kipnis, shoulder injury, shut down. Brantley is coming back from bicep surgery, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lonnie Chisenhall, he just started hitting in the batting cage on March 24th, but then they shut him down immediately after that. Carlos Carrasco, he's going to start the season on the DL, and then obviously you have Anderson, who ended up with Tommy John. So right now you're looking at Kluber, Salazar, Bauer, Tomlin, and Clevenger. And then a bullpen with Allen as your closer. And then I'm looking at the lineup. Brantley injured. Chisenhall injured. Kipnis injured. And all of a sudden, this looks like garbage. So here's the thing, and I'm going to upset a lot of people in the Midwest here. Look, Kluber, as much as I've hated on Kluber, he found his way. He's still a very good pitcher.
Sure.
I don't have him a Hall of Fame, all-star, perennial amazing guy, but he's a very good pitcher.
Yeah.
And I'm just not sold with all the injuries in this lineup. I'm going way under 93.5.
Way under 93.5.
I have them 82 to 85 wins.
Wild card?
No,
they missed the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean we'll get in. We'll get into it. In a minute, but yeah, I'm not sold. I just think that there's better teams out there. They have a shot at a wild card.
Okay.
I think they're one of the teams that has a shot. I'm not saying they don't. You'd never know with teams coming off. Like, these are some weird injuries, too. And it seems like Brantley's always injured. Mm-hmm. And really, if Carrasco, is hurt, yeah, it's Kluber and Salazar as your 1-2. That doesn't put a ton of fear in you, and they have to deal with some pretty decent lineups.
Got it. Okay.
So,
yeah, I mean, it's a pretty potent. You got some pretty potent offenses here in the AL Central. Who do you got next year?
Let's just go to one of the absolute garbage teams, and that's going to be the Chicago White Sox.
Mm-hmm.
They're pulling, what every garbage team loves to do, and I mean, they're trading everything that they can for any piece of the puzzle that they can. And now it looks like Rodon is going to start on the DL as well. So we have a number of 69.5. I'm going to be easy here. Putrid. Like maybe one of the worst top to bottom teams in the AL. I think like 63 to 65 wins.
Oh, you don't think Big Game Shields is going to be awesome?
No, I think, and I don't think Derek Holland. Like, I'm looking at this, and you know me, I love Quintana, but I expect him and Frazier also to be traded.
Okay,
I fully expect them to be traded, and then so let's say Quintana's even there. Okay, after him, it's Gonzalez, Derek Holland, and James Shields, and they don't even have a fifth starter right now.
Wow, that's brutal.
I mean, the lineup is anemic to begin with. They have a couple guys that can hit a couple home runs. They're bad, dude. They're bad. They're going the route of the Reds or the Braves, where they just tank for a few years, trade all their pieces, hope to do well in the draft, and hope to do well in their returns. But, it is what it is.
All right. So, speaking of the bottom, last year the Twins were bad. And they had a pretty decent year the year before, but they're definitely declining here. But do you see them continuing to decline or coming back up?
Well, let me just put it to you in a very succinct fashion. A bad rotation. A bad bullpen.
Yep.
A very mediocre lineup.
Mm-hmm.
And a team that will also most likely sell off any remaining pieces trade deadline. Under 74.5, 67 to 69 wins.
Wow.
I think they're just as bad as, if not worse than they were last year. I mean, this is. I mean, if you just look at the depth chart on this team, it's like Frankenstein. You took the worst pieces of the parts, and you were like, all right, let's just. Irvin Santana's our ace, sure. Hector Santiago, he's all right. Yeah, we'll plug him as the number 2. I mean, and then it's Gibson, Hughes. And then Duffy, is your 3, 4, and 5. So guys that are just going to get lit up on a nightly basis.
Okay.
I just don't see. The bullpen's bad too.
Yeah, brutal. And you know what? So the AL Central, there's going to be some teams to pick on.
Oh yeah, I think the AL Central. I would say the weakest division in the AL, definitely.
Okay,
we'll say that.
So who do you got next?
Let's go to our old friends, the Kansas City Royals, and talk about their demise. So obviously, coming off a horrific tragedy again this year for another team, for an ace starting pitcher, and I'm just don't see that they have done enough. Danny Duffy is your 8th.
Yeah.
Ian Kennedy's your 2. You have Hamill as your 3, Vargas is your 4, and Nate Carnes is your 5. The bullpen, Soria and Herrera still a very good 8-9. I'm not sold on anybody else. And you're going to need more than that. The lineup stinks. This is a bad team. Under 77 games. Under 77 wins. 71 to 73.
All right, 77.
And the thing is they're going to sell pieces too.
Yeah.
You watch.
All right. Well, you know what? Moustakas, Kane, Hosmer, those are still pretty decent guys. But, maybe.
Yeah, but they don't have the chemistry as a lineup. If you look at, what they did last year, I'm not saying that they can't be good. I just don't think they will be good. And that rotation is so brutal. It's going to keep them out of games before they have a chance.
Got it. All right. So that leaves us with the Detroit Tigers, who are 30-1 to win the World Series.
Love me some Detroit Tigers.
Yeah.
Look, they are 83.5 is their total right now. And I actually think they beat that. It's going to be close. But look, the top three of the rotation has a chance to be very, very good if they stay healthy, right? Which is a big if. I mean, it's Verlander, Fulmer, and Zimmerman. That is not anything to sleep on. I mean, I'm obviously worried about the 4 and the 5 because it's either Norris, Boyd, and Pelfrey.
Oh God!
You know how we look, but here's the thing: Boyd actually didn't look terrible at the end of the year.
Yep.
I don't love Pelf, and I think that the lineup is actually going to be pretty good. I mean, you still have Upton and Cabrera. People for whatever reason always sleep on Cabrera. I just think that they are going to win that division.
Okay, so you got them winning the division, and if you pull it up here, 30-1 shot to win the World Series and 15-1 shot to win the AL. So it might be something to take a look at, especially if that division is going to be so brutal. All right, let's go over to the AL West. Right. Where would you like to start, man? I'm going to let you pick the teams that you want to start with.
All right. Well, let's just start with we'll go with the brutalest of the brutal.
The brutalest of the brutal.
And that's going to be the Oakland Athletics.
Oakland Athletics. Okay, talk to me.
It's funny. The Oakland Athletics always find a way to kind of surprise us at times, and you're like, whoa, like, how do they do that with nothing? This is not going to be one of those years. Have you had the pleasure, or should I say displeasure, of watching Sonny Gray in spring training yet?
I have not. I know he's injury prone here from what I'm reading.
Well, injury prone and just, oh my God, it's been brutal. And he now is beginning the season on the DL because of a so-called lat strain.
Okay.
And that's I think smoke signals for, man, I'm getting shelled and I don't know why.
Okay.
So their ace going in is going to be Kendall Graveman, who, is the infamous trade in the Josh Donaldson trade, who we've laughed about for years. And he's mediocre at best. Sean Monet, mediocre. And then the rest of these guys are either unknowns or bad. They have other guys that are on the DL. The bullpen's bad. The lineup is terrible. So let's just say under 73.5 games, 68 to 70 wins. Okay. But they could lose 100 games.
Got it. Okay. So going from the bottom to the top, where you at?
We can
next?
go to let's go to the Angels.
The Angels.
And unfortunately, I think this is going to be another wasted year for arguably the best player in baseball.
Sure.
Trout's obviously very good. I mean, we have, you just never know. I mean, Pujols, I understand people want to discount him because he is injury prone, obviously, but at the DH, I still like him. I mean, he's still going to hit like 30 bombs, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. But this rotation, I'm not. I look at it and I'm not sure. I mean, it's a bunch of veteran guys that aren't very good.
Okay. And
then their closers on the DL, under 79.5. But it's going to be very close. I say like 77 to 79 wins. And the bullpen is going to make Angels fans want to rip their hair out.
All right, got it. So there's 3 teams left, and I'm trying to figure out where you're going next.
So let's go with Seattle, who another year where a lot of people seem to be high on this Mariners team, and Vegas has their number at 85.5.
Ooh,
that's too high.
It's too high.
Felix Hernandez has been getting murdered in spring training.
Has he really? I know you didn't have a great year last year either, yeah.
Actually, sorry. I need to, after his last start, it hasn't been that bad. I think let me look at the game log. Because he had one bad start, but it looks like it hasn't been bad. But the thing is what are you getting from King Felix?
Mm-hmm.
If you look at how he finished the year last year, it was really bad, and he couldn't get out of the 5th inning.
Got it.
His whip ended up being like a 1.3, and worse than he's ever been. But the thing is even if he has a bounce back year, I don't love Iwakuma. I don't love Paxton. And then it's Smiley and Gallardo. I don't love that. I don't love their bullpen. I think that the lineup has a chance to really bash some people to death. I definitely think that they could do that. But again, injury prone, getting older, and just not that good. I have under 85.5. I have 81 to 83 wins. Not that far off, but like hovering around 500.
Sounds great, brother. So we got the Texas Rangers I'm looking at next here.
Yes, the Texas Rangers. So that's a team that, I mean, their lineup is still incredible. And their defense is really good. Their pitching is like, you just don't know what you're going to get from Hamels and Darvish, right, for their whole year. Mm-hmm. Perez is mediocre at best, and again, 4 and 5. You're like, I don't love it. And they traded for Trashner. He's on the DL.
Trashner, I love Trashner. We love betting those Trashner overs.
I know. And then what is it? Gonzalez he's coming off, and then Ross. So right now, I mean, I have Texas just over 85 games.
Okay.
I have them 86 to 87 wins and battling for the wild card.
All right, sounds good. So that leaves one team left, and that is the Houston Astros, brother.
I love me some Houston Astros.
Okay.
Now, there is one issue I'm having right now, and that is Colin McHugh is starting because he has dead arm symptoms, which normally isn't. It sounds way worse than it is. It's just his arm hasn't really bounced back from last year. But that's happened to a ton of pitchers, and they bounce back, and they tend to find it. Keuchel's looked really good. I like McCullers. I think this is the year that the rotation actually puts it together. And undercover, they have a very good bullpen. I think the addition of veteran presence like McCann behind the plate is going to be not only great for the lineup, but help them overcome those road woes. And I mean, they just have one of the best lineups in baseball, I think. They definitely rival the Red Sox in that regard. I have them over 90.5 at 93 to 95 wins.
Over 93.5. Wow. Okay. So you got this team doing their thing. All right.
90.5 is the number.
Do you want
90.5 is the number, and I have it as the over.
Do you want to save your AL champion till the end?
Yeah. We'll go through all that. We'll go through. I have a whole basically bracket filled out. We'll go through the whole thing.
All right, sounds good, guys. And if you want to get a sneak preview of these, you could probably DM you, right, Dan?
Yeah, I got to figure out how to load like the whole thing into a link or like something like that, and I'm gonna figure that out, and we're gonna do it.
All right, sounds good, man. So where do you want to start as far as the National League?
Why don't we start out west so I can piss people off out there nice and early?
All right.
Let's go over
to the west.
Let's start. You know what? Let's just start with a team that we liked last year, but ended up being absolutely putrid. And do you know where I'm going with this?
Are you going with the San Francisco Giants? Or no, the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks.
You're trying to make Frank Vinculato.
Yeah, the Diamondbacks.
So here's the Diamondbacks, and they come in after just a god awful year, and I truly think that was derailed when that idiot in center field decided to dive headfirst into home plate.
In spring training.
Oh, completely affected the whole lineup, killed Goldie. Here's the thing: the pitching staff is a great unknown, but these are guys that should be able to hold. Like, they have been good in the past, and I understand it's hard to pitch in Arizona, but people have done it before. People have won World Series out there. Okay. I think Greinke bounces back. I like the addition of Taijuan Walker. I like Robbie Ray. I think Shelby Miller, if he's even like a shell of him old self, if he can get like a 4 ERA and just eat innings. Same thing with Corbin in the fifth. Problem is the bullpen is bad. I mean, you have Francisco Rodney, who I know have like a little bit of a bounce back as your closer, and Delgado is your is your setup guy. Not sold on that. But this lineup, I think, is actually going to be good this year. You're hoping that Yasmani Tomas comes back fully healthy. I know he's got the left oblique strain, which sometimes can be a weird one, but I think even with that, you'll still be good. I have them over 78.5 wins. Again, going to be close. 81 to 83 wins, right around 500.
All right, yeah. I mean, and what he's talking about, too, is as far as the pitchers are concerned, guys, is that in the desert, the ball flies right out the park. So pitchers have a hard time pitching there because, the ERAs come a touch inflated in the desert. So that's something
just
to take
a little
look
bit.
at.
But again, there have been good pitchers out there before.
Sure thing, man. All right, so where you at next?
Let's go right to the other most prominent bandbox in all the major leagues, and that is the Colorado Rockies. I can't believe they got a number of 80.5. I know that they had a good year last year, and they really overperformed. But here's the thing. They've had some real tragic things. I'm not sure if you're familiar, but, their pitcher Bettis, who had cancer in the past, now has cancer again.
Oh.
So I hopes and prayers and everything, you could say out to him. But, and I hate to be crass, and it's almost weird to say, but, like you are looking at a big loss to the team as well. Mm-hmm. I mean, someone who is expected to be, a big-time pitcher. And then you have, Russin is dealing with a side injury, and, you have some other guys that are dealing with some other injuries. And you just wonder, does Trevor Story look like the Trevor Story of last year? Does this lineup really carry them outside of Coors Field? And again, I know the bullpen looks good on paper. Ottavino is really good, and obviously Holland is coming in as a closer. I'm not sold on this team. I just think that they're overrated. I have them under 80 games, 72 to 75 wins.
Okay. You got the under for the Colorado Rockies.
Yes, sir.
All right. So what is the next team on your radar, brother?
Let's go with who I think is going to be the worst team in all of baseball this year.
The worst team? I know where you're going here. You're going over to San Diego.
The San Diego Yangervis Solartes.
Yes.
No, but this is a joke, right? I mean, you look at this, this rotation, and it's like a bunch of guys that stink. And they're like, the football team left. They have to watch us. It's like, they got some. Their outfield, I will be honest, Hat. I looked at this depth chart and I was like, who the hell are these guys? I had no idea who half of these guys were.
Wow.
And I'm looking at the infield and the same damn thing, except for Will Myers and Yangervis Solarte, who really should be like a backup somewhere. And then you look at the bullpen, and I'm like, oh, my God. The question is with the San Diego Padres, will they lose 100 games? That's the only thing 61 to 63 wins. The book has them at 66.5. I have the under.
You have the under 66.5 for them to be putrid and lose almost 100 games. Or over 100 games.
They're bad.
All right, at least
they got Weave is their number 2 guy after Richards, their ace.
Mm-hmm.
Come on,
exactly
crazy.
All right, so
let's get to the creme de la creme.
Yes.
So we're gonna stay in the same state now, obviously, and we're gonna go up the freeway a little bit. We'll follow it right to the Los Angeles Dodgers with a number of 94.
Okay.
Really. Maybe it's just in my blood and my genetics to hate the Dodgers, but I'm not sold here. I look, obviously Kurt is the best. He's the absolute best. I still don't love Maeda. Rich Hill was really good, but again, another year of age, and he's injury prone. And then it's McCarthy, Wood, Urias, Ryu, Kazmir. You have Gonzalez starting the year on the DL with tendonitis. That doesn't tend to go away. Corey Seager's banged up with an oblique. Ethier's banged up with a herniated disc. They don't even know when he's going to be back. Yasiel Puig has stunk. Jock Peterson is good, And Justin Turner's been good. And, Yasmani Grandal, you have to think, is going to be pretty good behind the plate. And look, after Kenley Jansen in the bullpen, come on. I mean, Sergio Romo's hurt again.
Oh, man.
You have I'm not seeing it, man. I mean, I'm saying 86 to 88 wins, and they're going to battle the Giants the whole way down the stretch, but under 94, definitely.
Under 94. 94 is a big number.
Huge number.
Wow.
Like, I don't understand. I think right now they have the biggest number in baseball. That I almost just swore. Sorry, but I mean, it deserves. I mean, they have a bigger number than the Boston Red Sox.
Nuts.
Nuts.
How it all works. Okay.
So let's go to a team that, even though it is an odd year, I still expect to perform very well. And that is the San Francisco Giants.
Okay.
Here's the thing. I mean, Bumgarner Cueto. That is one of the best 1-2s in baseball.
Sure.
I mean, it is. You can expect, them to go out there, pitch their lights out all the time. Then you get into, Matt Morris, Samardzija, Kane, and you're like, you don't love it. But, again, they are in such a light-hitting division. And even with the Dodgers banged up out of the gate, I think the Giants have the best division by far in the AL West when you really look top to bottom of the lineup. When you have Pence and Posey and Belt and Panic. And then, look, you have Melancon in the pen, and Melancon is a very underrated closer, and they also have some good setup guys. I have the Giants over 87.5 wins, 88 to 90, battling the Dodgers, but over 87.5.
All right. Got them over. So that does it for the NL West, man. Over for the Giants. They're the only, let's see, them and the D-backs are the only overs that you have here.
Yeah, and we'll do a real quick recap, run through at the end of this so you can, and I'll obviously tweet all this out, guys. But, yeah, those are the only overs in that division. I mean, 94 games for the Dodgers. 94 wins?
94 wins, brother.
I mean, so that means they have to win 95 for you to win.
Yeah, right.
That is crazy. And Riley Holmes, I did not skip the Orioles. We talked about the Orioles.
Yes,
we like
did.
The Orioles.
Yes, we did. Okay, so NL Central, Dan.
All right. So we have, for the first time in over, 108 years, your defending champions in this division. But we won't start there. Let's just start at the bottom again. And that'll be with the Milwaukee Brewers. There's only going to be one team in their division worse than them.
Okay.
Here, let's do the Brewers and the Reds together because it's the same storyline.
Okay.
Terrible baseball teams, top to bottom.
Yep.
Rotation and bullpen are abominations.
Mm-hmm.
The lineup is not that much better, and both teams will trade away all their pieces if they have any pieces. They're both at 70.5. They're both going under. I have the Reds battling the Padres and the Twins for the worst team in baseball.
Wow.
62 to 64 wins. And the Brewers slightly better at 66 to 68 wins.
Interesting.
I think they're going to, and I mean, the competition that they're going to face on a night in, night out basis is going to be so bad. I mean, so we'll start there, and then we'll go to the Buccos, go to the Pittsburgh Pirates, which, unfortunately, I think this is where the Pittsburgh Pirates are. I think this year is where they really die. I mean, 83 is I think even a big number now. I'm not sure if we're familiar what's going on with Jung Ho Gong.
No.
But he has visa issues. He can't come to the country. He got his third DUI.
Oh, wow.
So the U.S. was like, well, yeah, no, you can't here anymore, which means he can't play baseball. You're dealing, so you're dealing with that. So now you don't have a third baseman, really. The bullpen, obviously, losing Melancon. They didn't replace him with anybody. So the bullpen's bad. You have Francisco Cervelli, who's like the most light-hitting catcher in the league behind the dish. And a staff that, look, Garrett Cole could be really good again. And Taillon has the potential, but he's young. And then after that, it's Nova, Cool, Hutchinson, or Glasnow, Brault, Willie. I mean, guys that are really like either minor leaguers or close to it. I think that, they tried to trade McCutchen in the offseason. I think McCutchen and Starling Marte probably get traded. I have the Pirates under 83 wins. I think, we're looking at maybe 77 to 79 wins.
Under. You got
Under.
it, man. All right. So where are we
Let's
going
go.
next?
Let's go to St. Louis.
St. Lucia. They started out the year hitting the ball like maniacs.
Maniacs.
Oh,
and playing in the clutch.
absolutely nuts.
Doing all sorts of good things. And you're like, sometimes you don't expect these things. But I like the Cardinals this year just because, I think adding Fowler in center, I think this lineup's really good, like undercover. They don't have a lot of guys that you're like, oh, I know. Matt Carpenter, Yachty, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing with the rotation. People are looking at Wainwright and they're like, oh my God, he looks so bad. And he does not look very good. But the rest of the rotation looks pretty good. I like Martinez where he's been. Lynn has looked good. Waka's looked good. Leak has been But again, I think they're going to hit the ball. And I also, I do like O as the closer. So I have the Cardinals over 84.5 games. They're going to be the only ones in the division trying to keep pace with the Cubs all year. I think 86 to 88, and they will be battling for a wild card.
Okay.
So let's get to the World Championship.
Yes, sir. Let's do it. The Chicago
So this,
Cubs.
I missed it here. They have the biggest number of 96.5. Not the Dodgers.
Wow.
And this number is one of the biggest I've seen in a long time.
That
I think
is a lot.
I can't remember the last. I know last year we had like a 95. And look, I understand that they won over 100 games. Winning 100 games back to back is incredibly difficult.
Sure.
And here's the thing, Cubs fans. I'm not saying you guys are going to be a bad team. I have you under 96.5 games, but I have you winning 91 to 94.
Okay.
And I think you win the division by 7 or 8 games, and it's not that close.
It makes sense.
Here's the thing. The lineup's obviously great. The rotation is obviously great. But here's the thing. The fifth starter is a little like, eh. And normally, right, every team, you're like, oh, fourth or fifth starter. But when you have a number of 96.5, you have to have a lockdown fifth starter. So, I'm also not sure about what some of these guys, how they're going to adapt to some of the new things that they have to do. And obviously coming off a championship, maybe they start off a little slow, but Madden, is one of the best. But I just have them under 96.5 slightly.
Okay.
Slightly.
No, that makes sense because that is a huge they're setting the bar super high here.
Yeah, look, I don't know if it's Vegas saying, well, people love betting the Cubs. And so, hey, we'll get a bunch of over. I don't know. But 96.5 seems just really a touch too high. I thought it was going to be like 94.5 to 95.
Yep.
And so 96.5. I understand that they have some teams in that division that they can feast off of. Like they might not lose a game to the Reds or the Brewers. So, there is that.
Okay. And you know what, too? Just shop these lines, guys, because you could probably find, a half up or down or maybe one game or something like that because all the books are different.
Very true.
All right. So let's go over to the NL East and have a conversation about that. That's going to be our final one.
Yes, the NL East. All right. So let's start with the Phils. I know you love your
Phillies.
73.5 was their number. And this is another team that's making improvements.
Mm-hmm.
I think the rotation actually can be somewhat decent. I don't think it's going to blow you away, but I think that they're going to keep you in games. They're still kind of young. It depends how some guys bounce back from injuries. You know me, I hate Clay Buchholz. I think he actually gets lit up. I think he gets absolutely lit up in this ballpark. But again, I think that they're 73.5 is right there. This is another line that's spot on. I think they actually come closer to 76 to 78 wins because I think the lineup will be pretty good too. If you look around the lineup, they have some guys that have some pop, some guys that can get on base. The other thing, though, is this bullpen is dreadful. So, they could blow some games late too. But I like Nola. I like Eichhoff. Vince Velasquez is good. Hellickson is definitely good. Buchholz, I mean, he was good at the end of last year, but again, this is one of the hardest places to pitch in all of baseball, so we'll see.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Clay Buchholz going there is funny. So where you at? Under over?
He fits right in Philadelphia.
Where are we?
But I am going over 73.5.
Over 73.5. A better team.
Yeah, slightly, marginally improved. And now I got to go to our boy Riley Holmes down south, and we'll talk about his Atlanta Braves.
Okay.
This is another team that is very much improved, sneaky so, and they have one of the best front offices, around. They're really good at building talent. It's been a little barren lately. But the rotation is really old. And look, me, I love Bartolo Colon, but he's your number 2. And I mean, really on the Mets last year, he came into that season projected to be, the 4th or 5th starter. And then R.A. Dickey is he's been getting smashed around. So I don't know what to think of that. The lineup, though, has the potential. I mean, the Dansby Swanson era is opening.
Sure.
He is here. He's supposed to be the next Mike Trout. They have some guys, again, that have some pop, that had bad years last year, that ended the year good. I actually think that the Atlanta Braves go over 74.5. But, man, again, by a needle thread, like 75 to 77 wins.
Okay. Got it. So let's just take a look here and go to – we've got 3 teams left here, brother.
Yep. So we will go right to South Florida and go right to the Miami Marlins, who, again, much, same as Kansas City. I know it happened in season last year, but still dealing, obviously, with the untimely death of their ace.
Sure.
And, a lot of people said that they've made strides to try and shore it up. I don't think this rotation's any good. I mean, you have Edison Volquez, who, has looked mediocre at best. I mean, he is really a mediocre 3 or a solid 4th starter. He's now your ace. Straley is your 2, Kohler is your 3, and Chen is your 4. I'm not loving it. And look, the lineup has the potential to do some good things, but the bullpen also stinks.
Mm-hmm.
I have them under 76.5 games.
Under 76.5 games for the Miami Marlins. Yeah, that's unfortunate, that tragedy that happened there, man.
It is. I mean, self-induced. You do stupid things. Sometimes you die. But, for the team in general, the other thing, too, is that this owner doesn't screw around. If they're not winning games, they might shop anybody and everybody.
Sure. Right on. It makes a lot of sense. So we got 2 more teams left.
Let's go to the Nationals. The Washington Nationals.
Washington Nationals, kid.
So everybody wants to talk up the Nationals and how they're going to win the division this year, and it's not really going to be close. And, they have a number of 91.5. I'm not seeing it, okay? Scherzer has had that injury throughout spring training. I mean, I'm sure he'll be fine. But, I don't love Scherzer because I understand everybody looks at him and he strikes a whole bunch of guys out. He gives up a whole ton of home runs, too. Strasburg, when does he get injured? Can we pencil it in for some point this season?
Yeah, right.
And then it's Gio, Roark, and Ross, who were all miserable last year.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, without Daniel Murphy in this lineup last year and at times worth, they did not hit the ball. And I understand that, they still came on hot at times, but there were times where if Murphy wasn't hitting 450, this lineup wasn't doing anything. And the thing that nobody's talking about, everybody realizes that the Nationals don't have a closer or a setup guy. I mean, they have like Joe Blanton in their bullpen. I mean, I have them under 91.5. I'm not trying to hate here. I have them 87 to 89 wins, but not over 91.5. And I think they'll battle the Mets the whole way through.
Okay. Well, that leaves your favorite team, the New York Metropolitans, brother, who I hear about. Them and the Yankees on the fan is just 24 hours a day. Talk to me about the Mets.
So, I mean, let's get the elephant in the room out of the way early, and that's health, right? I have no. I mean, all the guys look good, and I think even Harvey right now coming back from thoracic outlet. We're going to see today in 2 hours. It's a good way to start the day because he's gradually been getting better. And I know a lot of people are super negative on him for not starting off spring training lights out, but he did have a big time surgery. And again, he's your number 4. Find me a better top 3 than Syndergaard, DeGrom, and Matz right now. I challenge you to do that. And then if Harvey's even half of what he was, and then I love whether it's Giselle-Man or Lugo. And then I think Wheeler either goes to extended spring training or the bullpen. That rotation is disgusting. Sure. And the bullpen is really good too. I mean, I understand that Familia might face a short suspension. I'd love for MLB to come out and announce that. It'd be nice. But Addison Reed has been a closer in the past. I love, the other guys, the bullpen. I mean, right now it's almost like you have so many riches there that it's okay. I'm a little concerned about outfield defense. Obviously Lagares is now hurt. What do you do? But if you look I think the Mets hit the most home runs out of any team in the National League this year.
Interesting.
I think they have 4 or 5 guys that'll hit 30 plus home runs. If you look at Duda, you look at Jay Bruce, and yes, I said Jay Bruce. That's what he does every year. Cespedes, Granderson, Neil Walker will probably hit 20. Cabrera will probably hit in the 20s. And then you have a true leadoff guy in Jose Reyes. Look, call me a homer, say what you will. I think the Mets are going to battle the Nationals the whole way. 91-93 wins.
Over
88.5.
Okay. All right, brother. So that does it for all the divisions, 6 divisions, yes. 30 teams, 5 each. Great job, Dan. Absolutely stellar and great job. And so now we get to the creme de la creme here. Now we get a chance to hear who you think is going to be the team to rock October. Let's get right into it, man. Where are you at?
So I came up with all the playoffs as I do every year. And so for your wild cards, I have the Orioles as the number 1 wild card.
Okay.
The Texas Rangers is the number 2 wild card. Mm-hmm. In the NL, I have the Nationals as the number 1 wild card and the Cardinals as the number 2 wild card.
Okay.
Your AL division winners, the Red Sox, the Houston Astros, and the Detroit Tigers.
Cool, man.
So I have in the NL your division winner, the San Francisco Giants, the Chicago Cubs, and the New York Mets. I have the Mets playing the Cubs after defeating the Giants in the NLCS. I have the Red Sox and the Astros playing the NLCS. And then I have the Mets and the Astros World Series.
Mets, Astros, World Series. Astros
and I think we all know where I'm going.
You got the New York Metropolitans to win the whole thing, Dan?
If you tell me, because if you get into the playoffs, and I've said this well before I've been picking the Mets, it's the same reason I pick teams. If a team can get into the playoffs and you have your 3 big horses healthy and ready to go, you tell me who's walking into a series. I don't care if it's the Dodgers, the Cubs, the Nationals, whoever, against Syndergaard, okay, DeGrom, Matz, and if you need to, you also have other guys that you feel more than comfortable. Who knows? I know everybody's super negative on Harvey. Maybe by the bullpen, the guy has like a 2.9 ERA and he's throwing 98 miles per hour. You never, you don't know. Mm-hmm. I know it's optimism, but after all the injuries last year, this is a team. Remember, they were brutalized by injury last year. Everybody and anybody got hurt, and they still managed to make the playoffs.
Yeah. And they're a 12-1 shot right now, Dan. Both of those teams, the Astros and the Mets, are 12-1.
Says something.
All right. So that's good, guys. So, Dan, awesome information. Thank you for everything that you do for us, man.
Oh, thanks, brother. I love doing it. Love the MLBs. And as I said before, guys, hit me up, DMs, Twitters, whatever. We got a great fantasy baseball league going. I have a feeling that we'll be doing some daily fantasy stuff too.
Of course.
As soon as the season starts. Hat and I are going to put our heads together, I think, and see, with the dream as well, what days might work. Because obviously baseball's every day. So maybe we get a day that we all do like an SBTV Nation one.
Maybe on like Sundays.
Yeah, Saturday or Sunday would be great. A day where you're expected to have the whole card active. I will also do them. I'll probably do one a week, on like a Wednesday or something when the whole card's active. Yeah. So we can definitely have some fun throughout the season. I always open to ideas too, guys. So,
all right, sounds good, guys. Awesome. So just so you guys know, we have decided to change our time a touch during the week. Dream and I thought it would be apropos to come on the show and actually have the injuries, actually have the information of the teams and the players that are sitting, actually have the lines all up, actually have everything ready and all the homework done for when the show actually airs. What that means is, on the weekends, we're going to keep our time exactly the same. We're going to stay here at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the weekends, and we're going to have a really fun summer as far as baseball is concerned with that. But tomorrow, we're going on at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, giving everybody a chance to listen to the biggest show in the world, Dan.
I love it.
I feel like the live listeners are going to increase. I feel like everybody's going to be a part of this, and we're very excited to do it. And for the people on the West Coast, you're going to be listening to us at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And on the East Coast, you're going to listen to us at 6 o'clock. So what's going to end up happening is we're going to be closing out right before the 7 o'clock games. So we'll have a pretty good idea what's going on. Way better idea than 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that'll actually give me some times. If I can't come on myself, I should be able to get you guys my daily plays of the day before you go on.
All right, perfect. Sounds good, man. So we'll be on at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow night. Very excited about the announcement. And the weekends we'll keep in the morning because you have obviously games at 12 o'clock. So, Dan, recap what you're on here.
Yeah, so we're going to roll with South Carolina and North Carolina.
All right.
By the hooks in both places. North Carolina down to 2, South Carolina up to 4. I'm also going to moneyline South Carolina. And we're going to roll with that. So best of luck to everybody today. Thanks for another year of listening to the MLB Future Show. I'm going to find a way to get all that online. So feel free to hit me up, DM, tweet. Look forward to talking to you guys next week.
All right. Sounds good, Dan. Thank you very much yet again. And thank you to everybody that listens to our show each and every day. And I hope the time change works out for you like it's planning on working out for us. Guys, we love you to death. Go out there. Go easy today. Rise and grind. Enjoy your Sunday. Make all your dreams a damn reality and get that money. Let's go.
Peace.